there, second grade. Miss Hershey here with part 2 of our sunset silhouettes or sunset sailboats or sailboat silhouettes, whatever it says on the paper versus what it's called on the YouTube channel. So for part 1, you should have completed this painting, this ombre, with our warm colors fading into kind of white and then fading into our cool colors, our sunset sky. So this would be the bottom and then this would be the top as the sun is either rising or setting. You can pick which one you like. And then we have the black paper. I have 2, you only have 1. I'm going to show you 2 different things you can draw. I originally thought about doing sailboats, but then I thought maybe you might not like a sailboat, so I'm going to give you a choice. So for the sailboat, what we're going to do is we're going to draw an island. So I'm going to go from corner to corner on my black paper. Move it up a little. I'm going to go corner to corner to make the shape of the island. And then I'm just going to do a palm tree. So I'm going to do a curved line coming up. And then it should be a little wider at the bottom than the top. So I'm going to start over here, curve up, but getting smaller. And then I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 leaves. And palm tree leaves are kind of jagged. And I should mention, I am drawing with a white colored pencil. You can draw with a regular gray pencil. It will show up on the black paper just fine. Just for video purposes, I wanted to make sure you guys could see this as well as possible, so I chose white. But if you don't have a white colored pencil, just a regular old gray pencil will work just fine for this. So there is my palm tree. And then we would do a sailboat as well, sort of in the negative space over here, because we're going to cut this out. So the sailboat, make it smaller than you think, or at least smaller than I would have thought. So I'm going to start with the top of my boat, going to do the sides and the bottom, and these are just rough sketches because we're going to cut them out. Then I'm going to do, this is called the mast, and that's what holds the sails up. And then I would do a sail coming this way, and it shouldn't go really past your boat, and then maybe a smaller sail coming this way. And then that's it. That's all you need to do for drawing on this today. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut that out. So I'm gonna show you option 2 now. So this is sailboat with an island, and then option 2, I actually already drew, is a house. If you wanna do a house, go ahead and do a house. You need to do your same ground line, and then you need to do your house drawing. So, just to keep the video from getting too long and too boring, I went ahead and did some cutting already. So here's my paper, and I cut out an island because cutting the palm tree is a little bit of work. I didn't want you guys to have to watch me cut the palm tree out. So when you go to glue it on, you're gonna put the glue on the side with the pencil. You want that to be the back. We want this nice clean black line. That's what a silhouette is. A silhouette is when it looks like the light is coming from the back of something, so it's black and you just see the outline. So there's my island, and then off in the distance in the water is my sailboat. Or you could do the opposite. You could do a sailboat down here, and you could make your island smaller. You could cut it smaller and do it floating. I kind of like this though. So it's sort of my island, and then my sailboat floating, or you could bring your sailboat down. I like it floating out in the water. So that's what you would do. You would glue it like that. That's it. That's the project. So for the house, it's a little bit more involved, so I did want to cut that one with you guys. So I'm going to cut out my house. So if you're doing sailboat, you don't have to watch this part. If you're doing house, you should watch this part. So I'm going to cut it so that I have some different lines, like my roof line kind of hangs off a bit. I always like to just cut as far as I can just to make it a nice smooth line. Okay, it might not be perfectly symmetrical, meaning that the 2 sides aren't going to match exactly. That's okay. All right, so now if we just plopped this house on, this would not be an interesting looking project. That's not very interesting at all. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to cut these out. So if you just gently fold your paper in half, you can just kind of make a little cut in your window and your door. And then you can use that to cut them out. So this one is I don't want to say it's less cutting than the other one or more. I think they both have their unique challenges. This one you're cutting out these interior shapes. The other one you would be cutting out your palm tree leaves, which are kind of hard to cut. All those little zigzags and jagged edges are a lot of work. So it sort of goes back and forth between the two, which one you like better. So now you can see we're getting a more interesting looking sunset picture. And then I'm going to fold this window in half. And I'm going to fold this other window in half. So I did 3 windows and a door. You, of course, don't have to do exactly what I did. As always, you can put your own spin on things. I like to see the spins that you put on your work, the different things you might come up with that I didn't. I always enjoy seeing a little creativity from my kids. So, if you're still watching this, now you know why I didn't make you watch me cut out the palm tree, because watching someone else cut paper is probably not that interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to try to finish these windows off. Make them as even as I can, but again, they're not going to be perfect. There's just not necessary for them to be perfect. So, here is my house. Now, I want to make it a little bit more house-like than this. This is really long. So we're going to just do crossbars on our windows. So I'm going to look at the back of my house. Again, the back is the side with the white, and I have these scrap papers that I had cut. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut some straight lines, just a couple. Try to keep them as even as possible, but again, they won't be perfect, and that is okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue them to the back of the house. So I'm going to put glue around my window, and you can use a little bit more than you think because we are going to glue this to our painting in just a few minutes. And I'm going to glue one going up and down and one going across to make my window. Pretty simple, right? So I'm going to do the same thing over here with this guy. I'm going to do glue around my window, 4 sides. I'm going to stick this on going up and down, a vertical line, and across is my horizontal line. Got one more window up top there. So we'll do our glue all the way around, up and down, and across. And then the door, you can leave it open or you can do something similar on your door if you want to. I think I'm going to do a similar design on the door. So I'm going to do 3 on the door. Maybe make them smaller, what they call panes of glass. So smaller panes on my door. So I'm going to do 3. Start with the center. And right now it looks a little bit like a jail cell door. We're gonna make it look less like a jail in just a minute. So now I'm gonna do some of these skinny guys going the other direction. And again, you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. You can make it your own, however you'd like. I like to see when you guys do some different things than I do. Makes my day more interesting. So if you want to do a house with no door and just windows or whatever you guys think looks good. Okay, let's do there and there. Oh, that still kind of looks a little jail cell-y to me. Let's move these down. Let's maybe do one here and one in the middle. Okay, so then once you're done with that, then we will glue that to our painting. So I'm going to glue this one to the painting. I've already got some glue on it, so I'm just going to carefully go and make sure these pieces stick on. Got my glue stick. Make sure you get that bottom piece. When I look at these, I do like to see that you know how to use glue well. We're in 2nd grade, so hopefully we're good at using glue. And just line it up with the bottom of my paper. It should fit if you went edge to edge, and then smooth it down. Okay, beautiful. I've got my lovely house with my sunset background. And then one thing you can do if you'd like is using a black marker, you can do this to either. You can do this to if you did sailboats or a house, or if you did something else outside, you can consider this. I have some dirty spots, so I'm gonna actually turn those into a couple birds flying over my house. And you could also add some more marker details if you want to. You do not have to. That is totally optional. I'm gonna do maybe like there's a tree right here, and I'm gonna do some tree branches. You could do this out of paper too, but you don't have to. Totally optional. I'm just trying to give you guys some things to think about. So there is my tree. It's got some branches on it coming off. And it must be winter because there's no leaves on my tree. Okay, so I think that's it for the silhouettes. So remember, you can do a house or something else of your choice, or you could do the sailboat. I don't have two paintings, but if I was doing the sailboat, I would probably do something like this. Kind of glue them together like that, or you could even move your island over if you wanted to. Don't have to have the whole island in there. And then my sailboat, and then again, I could do some birds in the sky. You could do, you know, some grass growing on your island if you wanted to. And you could do a line for the water if you really wanted to. I would do it lightly. I'm doing it with a pen. So I would do that maybe with a pencil and just lightly. We don't want to make too much of a craziness on it because it is supposed to be silhouettes. But yeah, so that's about what I would say you could do with either of these options. And like I said, you can do your own video too, or your own shapes. Lots of different things. The silhouettes can be anything. Animals. Here in school, we've done a couple different animals for our silhouettes. We did owls for one, but we left the eyes. So when we drew them, we left the eyes not colored in, so the eyes were, we did them like this, so the eyes were orange. You can do a lot of different things with silhouettes, but I'm interested to see what you guys do and turn these in. If you have any questions, remember just email me or message me through Schoology. I can't wait to see your guys' projects. Bye!